We will swarm over them!
What's up, everybody? It's right here. Welcome back to another cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.2 version 7. Today we have a 1v1 on Morthond Valley. That's right. Let's see who is in this match today. We have MayShadowFax as Dwarves in the top left, and his opponent in the bottom right is Checkmate as Mordor. Alright. Morthond Valley has spider layers as creeps. It has a nice signal, or not signal, nice ruin thing in there in the center. But it does have inns as well, guarded by cave trolls. So there's 4 creeps, I believe, in this map total. Also, you have abundance of trees around your base, in case you're one of the lumber mill factions, like Checkmate is, of course. It's a pretty good map. There's many ways to go into the enemy base as well. This is one of my favorite 1v1 maps, I think. I played it a few times. It's pretty good. Let's see, we got an orc pit start going down for Checkmate. Getting a little orc pit here. Okay. And of course, he's getting his economy going as well. MayShadow's going for phalanxes as his starting units. And of course, coming from a Hall of Warriors, got his tunnels. He's yellow, which is a bit hard to see on the map. I can still see it though. Here it is. He's got his builder here. Might throw up a mine here, pull out his phalanxes and creep his cave troll. It's looking like that is going to be the case. Hopefully he didn't build too close to the cave troll. Nope, seems he's just out of range. And of course, once he secures this in, he can start producing hobbits, which is a very good unit for dwarves to have. So that'll help him out immensely. And of course, if Mordor decides to take an inn, he will have the harassment spear thrower. I can't remember what they're actually called. I think they're just called harassment spearmen. But they throw ranged spears, which is pretty cool. MayShadow doing some creeping with the troll there, getting his builder to get the troll to chase him, and then sending his phalanxes in to finish him off before he completely gets back to the place. Because they don't react to you once they're walking back, their animation basically. So it's the best time to strike on a creep. That's why you'll see a lot of players lure it away and then chase it back once it starts walking back to the layer there. And actually, if he can capture both these inns, that would be pretty huge. Looks like he actually opted not to go for this one. Instead took the bottom left one. And of course, they do give you 4 chests of gold, which is also nice as well. Which is 110, 111, 113, 108. So it varies from around 100 resources per chest, but that's over 400 resources right there, just straight up out of a thing. So it's definitely worth creeping. But the hordes of hell are upon him. And now MayShadow will be up against a new horde of orcs. New horde of orcs. Oh yes. Many hordes of orcs, in fact, are being sent. And of course they have shields because I'm using the HD Edition Alpha, which is not released yet, so don't ask me about it. But that's why my units look that way. And we got Guardians being sent out to deal with some of this mill action, or slaughterhouse rather. Mill is for Angmar, is it not? Also some buffed Guardians in the base of Checkmate, looking beautiful of course in the HD edition, as they always do. Love it. Alright, we got a Origin Palace down for Checkmate. Looks like he should be able to save this. A good thing for dwarves in version 7 against spam like this is actually the siege hammers. Siege hammers require level 2 Hall of Warriors for 600 resources, but you can get splash damage equipped to your guardians, which does decrease their attack power. But it makes, of course, them very good against buildings, and good against, it gives them a bit of splash damage, which is good against goblin warriors and orc warriors, things spammy of that nature. I don't think I've seen it in a cast for too many. I probably have already, but where they've been used against spam really well. Well, that's a feature kind of new to version 7 for the siege hammers. Also, there's the access of them being in the barracks as well. Makes it much more easy to come by. Which can also mean, of course, you can get wrecked by a bunch of Guardians of Siege Hammers very quickly by allowing them to get to your fortress, which is very scary. And will take your fortress down very quickly. So that's something you have to worry about if they are going for Siege Hammers. Alright, Checkmate is going into the bottom left here, taking out some mines. Doesn't look like we have any hobbits being built. Looks like MayShadow has this in as well. But if he's not building units out of them, of course there's no benefit to having it, just other than the enemy not having it, I guess. Well, he gets vision over there, I suppose, from it. Not a whole lot, it's gotta be said. They don't give you much vision, they go to like there, really. Most of this vision's coming from this mine shaft. Alright. MayShadow's pushing the attack here. It's doing pretty well. Oh, there is some hobbits on the field. Someone just got slain. And there we go, the Haradrim Spearmen, ranged spearmen from Harad, runs cavalry and monsters, able to switch formations to improve combat capabilities. So they can indeed go to like wedge formation or whatever the hell it is, so they can get 20% or something bonus damage, but weaken against armor or something. I can't remember. If you get some, I'll look at it. There we go, some cavalry for the Mordor player. Checkmate. Definitely a good call, considering how many pikeless armies are being sent to him. This should improve his combat capabilities tenfold, as long as he keeps microing his cav through there. Obviously, buff dwarves are going to take a lot of trampling to kill. This will, of course, allow the other units to whittle them down while they're knocked down, and allow him to maybe counterattack here. We do have some phalanxes on the field, though. These, of course, have been creeping things. They're level 3, so they've been doing work. There is the Haradrim Spear Thrower, of course, a unit from BFME 1, which is pretty cool. Skirmish Formation, spread out into several ranks. Horde members gain 20% damage, but suffer minus 20% armor. That's what it is. That is indeed what it is. I was not far off. Well, I was actually, that's what it said, isn't it? I didn't know the armor. Yeah. Nice. Alright. Checkmate seems to be doing pretty good. He's getting rid of a lot of MayShadow's forward mines. MayShadow is going around in his base, though. Doesn't seem to have a whole lot to stop MayShadow's force. So Checkmate's going to have to divert a bit of force to that. Lucky for him, that's not too much. So, 3 battalions? 3 battalions of dwarves is nothing to underestimate, though, of course. But if he equips these with siege hammers, things could get dicey very quickly. I don't think he has it, though. Both these are level 1, so he has not upgraded the Hall of Warriors to level 2 to do so. I do really want to actually see the siege hammers in action. But it is, of course, an investment as well, when he's not prepared to make, or doesn't want to make. Which is fair enough. But I think now the phalanxes are all basically dead. Well, not basically dead. You still have. You really should have this fortress targeting on the phalanxes so you can trample through these without running over any pikemen at all. Because even one pikeman will do damage to you. A single pike can make the biggest difference. So that's something to be careful of course. Looks like we have that taken as well. So both inns now belong to Checkmate. So MayShadow's going to need to do some rebuilding and some replenishing of his forces, I think. This Checkmate has a little bit more map control and a bit more units on the field as well. He has lost some stuff in his base, but not anything too severe. Checkmate has a War Chant. He's got 10 power points, so he can get a 10 if he likes. 331 to 350 command point limits, so he doesn't have a lot of farms, actually. 350 is not a whole lot. But of course, MayShadow is in the same boat. But he's just got another one, 232 of 400. And he's got all 3 of his 5 power points. We're Checkmate has opted to go for industry, which is definitely a good choice. Keep his economy rolling. Maybe not the best farm to use it on. But I guess it's not the worst farm to use it on either. Ideally, you don't want it like right in the enemy's path, but I suppose if we can defend right here, shouldn't be too bad. Trying to creep some spiderlings with the orcs. That probably won't go well, I'm going to be honest. Although, nope, I was right. It's not going well. I feel like Checkmate is not being aggressive enough up against his opponents. And MayShadow's being allowed to come back into this a bit more than he should be. If Checkmate kept pressing the attack, he could have done a lot of damage to MayShadow. So he just charged his cav right through some pikes. Well, not quite. I guess he kind of went in between the pikes a bit, but he of course did take some casualties there. Or some damage at least. See how good these are. The Harassment Spearmen are actually pretty good. But of course they're not good in melee. Unless you're charging cav onto them. In that case, the cav will get ruined. Also, they can do range damage to cav, which is pretty crazy. They're actually a very good unit against cavalry in general. Because you don't want to trample them because they're still spearmen, but they can throw their spears at the cav, which is pretty cool. It's the only unit that can actually give thrown spear damage to a cavalry. Or whatever unit is throwing it at, I guess. Right, well, these can regenerate, of course. He's got a banner on them, level 2, so they'll start regenerating eventually. Saving him a bit of money. Looks like he's also transitioning to Black Orcs, which is a good call. Black Orcs are far superior to regular Orcs. They still get the Horde bonus, but they're just really good in version 7. So, definitely worth getting. They should definitely come across some sort of nerf of some kind in the future, though. 250 is definitely too cheap for how strong of a unit it is. So hopefully that will be rectified in the hotfix when that happens. I think 300 at least, or 350 would be good. Probably 350 more so. At least that way they're... If you don't want to debuff their stats, that is, of course. Because of course they will be pretty good. They're just a really solid unit, and of course they can get upgrades as well. And at level 2 they also get just a passive 25% damage. So if you give them a banner, which only costs 100 in version 7 for everyone, I believe. Every faction after you research banners can equip them for 100, something like that. That gives you a straight up buff to your attack damage, just passively. And of course you just stack that on top of the Horde bonus, which will give you 25% damage if you have a bunch of them around. And of course you can throw on some other buffs like Gothmog's leadership or War Chant, etc. You know. Assuming they all stack, of course. I would assume all those stack, who knows. Now, if you look at the mini-map, I would definitely say that Checkmate is winning the battle, but he's just not being aggressive, which is unusual for a Mordor player, in my opinion. He's got all these troops everywhere, but they're just kind of like standing around, which is not good by any means. That's not what you want. I think he's giving MayShadow far too much breathing room. There's so much damage that could be done to his base so easily just by sending through his cav and dealing with these important mine shafts. But he's not doing it. And MayShadow keeps coming at his base because of it. When you're a spam faction, you should really be able to divert even a battalion of orcs to go harass a farm, you know? Realistically, it's not that difficult. Of course, it does take some micromanagement, though. You gotta be able to defend your base while sending guys forth elsewhere and doing stuff. Which can be tricky. I will attest, of course. He's got some Haradrim archer support, which seems to be doing pretty good. Men of Dale are still scary, though. The summon right there. He's not going to get power points for killing those, but if he kills those, of course, The range threat will be neutralized from the Dwarves, which is definitely what he needs. Looks like we get Corsairs of Umbar being brought out as well from Checkmate. Corsairs are pretty good against Dwarves because they're very quick. They're a quick swordsman unit that can go harass the enemy pretty nicely, and of course they can throw firebombs without bugging out in version 7 as well. There's no minimum range for Corsair firebombs to go. They can throw Corsair fireballs on themselves now, which is great. As long as they throw them. Doesn't really matter, does it? Here we go. Checkmate's starting to attack MayShadow's base over here in the north. Defending with crazy amounts in the south. I think Checkmate needs some lumber mills. An evil faction without lumber mills is... You might as well play Angmar at that point, yeah. Lumber mills are too good not to use, in my opinion. Be crazy not to. That's probably why he's not able to keep up economically as he should be. Because he's relying solely on slaughterhouses and industry, which definitely is helping him. It's giving his command point limit up as well. The slaughterhouses, but he should be able to throw down some of the lumber mills while spamming orc warriors, you know? Just to bolster his economy a bit. So Checkmate hasn't gone to any really... He hasn't opted for anything besides like basic units here. Well, not basic. I guess Black Orcs aren't a basic unit. They're technically like a tier. If there's tiers, I'd say they're tier 2 out of 3, maybe, unit. And Haradrim Archers, of course, are tier 3. If I had to tier things, they're not actually tiered or anything. They're just kind of on some sort of baseless tier system for no reason. Auto-casted Barb Shot, which is always good. Barb Shot is beastly. Love Barb Shot. But he can go for trolls, he can go for catapults, black riders, Muma Kill even. A lot of good options that he has available to him. But opting to go just for orcs and Haradrims or Easterlings, depending on what he gets out of there, I suppose. It is kind of strange, it's called the Haradrim Palace, but the first unit you get out of it is Easterling and Corsair. Are neither from Harad, of course. But whatever. It's just the way AEI did it, I guess. And it works, but it just doesn't make sense. It should be like Medivh, the East encampment. Even though Harad is in the south. So is Umbar. Yeah. Alright, Checkmate's got himself the tower. Barricade, of course. That's the word I'm looking for. Hobbits has been summoned in from MayShadow. So MayShadow is winning this engagement a bit. Haradrim Archers being forced to pull back. Overwhelming force surrounds him. Checkmate is doing some damage here in this north part. Just to get these orcs just like chilling by a mineshaft, not doing anything. I guess he's got too much to micro at the moment, and he doesn't realize. Oh, there they go. Alright. It's a pretty decent army right there. 3 Haradrim Archers. And some black orcs with a bunch of orc warriors. Not bad by any means. It should do pretty well. But you know what would make this better? I don't know, Drummer Troll or something. Drummer Trolls and Haradrim Archers are always a good combo. I mean, Drummer Trolls are just good to throw into any Mordor army, really. It's a free leadership plus a free fear ability. Why would you not? But it doesn't look like Checkmate's opting to go for any trolls of any kind. Or catapults or anything. MayShadow is able to sneak in the back of his base once again. He really needs to throw up a tower here or something. MayShadow's gone through this part multiple times to the back of his base. and he just doesn't seem to notice until it's too late. MayShadow, of course, take his farm with the industry equipped onto it. Equipped, I guess. Cast onto it. That's not really something equipped to things, is it? Barbed arrows doing their duty. There's the Middle Dale summon. And now MayShadow has a pretty strong force in the base of Checkmate. With very good archer support. Can die freely. So that's going to definitely be a problem. And of course, these Trojans will start dying, which will cost Checkmate quite a bit. Because there's just an overwhelming amount of archers to deal with. And his archers weren't free. And you know it's emergency mode when catapult expansion starts getting thrown up. Checkmate is on the offensive though. Sort of. I mean, why does he have units here, but then guys just standing here? It's weird. Alright, the catapult expansion has been brought out. You can actually use the Launch Skulls ability. I think you can actually autocast this as well if you right-click it. Oh, it's gone. And it will autocast that Fear ability and keep firing, which is pretty cool. And also you're going to want to change the, ideally, you can change the stance of the catapults. If you want it as far range as it can get, you put it in an aggressive stance. The, of course, trade-off of it being weaker. So when there's an army in the base, it's usually not a good idea to put it in aggressive, I'd say. But it is another level of micro you're going to have to remember to do, unless you just leave it normally. You'll just be in battle stance, but enemy siege will be able to out siege you, if that's the case. So you got to remember to change it. Checkmate has thrown down a troll cage, but I think really late into the game, really too late for a troll cage. He needed to trummer trolls like a while ago. Hell, even a mountain troll with a stick would have been good earlier. Against Guardians, mountain trolls actually do really well, so you don't even need to give him a stick. You can just run in, punch him, eat an orc, heal up, punch some more. Unfortunately, there's a barrage that has hit his base, crippling his production in the front. He does have a couple barricade expansions up here, though. Definitely gonna make things harder for MayShadow to do the damage. MayShadow still has his mine here. Somehow Checkmate is allowing him to repeatedly come into the same spot without actually sending troops to investigate, which is a bit weird. I don't know about you, but if I saw dwarves keep coming through this part, I would probably send something over here to stop it. Because it's pretty clear there's a mine over there. I'd definitely say MayShadow is now in control of this match. What control Checkmate's had has been thrown away, I would say. Pretty brutally. MayShadow's going for a battle wagon. Also got a line. Interesting thing about this is, building wall hubs like this actually gives him vision across this path, but it'll be hard to destroy as well, so it's actually kind of good to do that. Line these paths with wall hubs so you can actually keep vision on it. The enemy's not going to stop and destroy a wall hub. That's the whole reason throwing down a wall hub to save your builder is a thing, because they're hard to kill. So that's not a bad call, in my opinion. Put a wall hub in a path where you want vision on, and then you won't be surprised when enemies walk through it. I mean, obviously Checkmate can't do that with his faction, but he could put a tower up or something. Well, he's found the mineshaft that MayShadow has repeatedly abused to his heart's desire. At least that's something. He still has not built a single lumber mill, though, which is downright weird. For an evil faction to not build lumber mills is basically gimping yourself. I mean, why would you not? Couldn't tell you. There's not a real downside to you building lumber mills. There's only really a positive side. Or if there is a slight positive or downside, but of course, it's far outweighed by the positives. Whatever I just said. I know what I meant. It's good. Build lumber mills, for God's sakes. There's the Hobbit summon for MayShadow. Looks like he's going to flee. Checkmate's gone for Easterlings, which normally would be bad, but there is a battle wagon on the field, of course, as you've seen. So that should help keep his Haradrim Archer horde alive. If only he had the drummer troll. All these Haradrim Archers would have leadership at all times. Oh, there goes the battle wagon. Dispatched brutally. I do love a good Easterling though. Look at that. That HD Easterling. They look better with the heavy armor equipped, of course, but still, it's fantastic. The Easterling design is so cool. I love it. Oh my god, the first lumber mill of the game. It's like he could hear me through the past. Well, better late than never, I suppose. Checkmate needs a bigger melee force, though. He has a lot of Haradrim Archers, but not a lot of guys to protect them. So it could be bad for him in the long run, especially with all these battle wagons MayShadow's starting to bring out in the field. And there they are, and all their beauty with their rams pulling them. That's an HD edition thing, of course, not the normal little piggy great beast thing that they used to come with. Mordor barrage. You'll notice the Dwarves had a blue barrage. Mordor has an orange barrage. That's I think that's how it is now. In version 7 of 2.2, I think that's by default their colors, so you can differentiate who has barrage and who doesn't. Well, I guess they both have barrage, but whose barrage it is, I suppose. It's pretty neat because there was always a blue barrage particle effect. It's just part of the collector's edition. But I think it's been removed from the collector's edition features and just added to Dwarves as a kind of a default thing. It's kind of like a, here's a special thing for them, I guess. I like it. Alright, we've got Brand on the field. He could be good. Once he gets slam shot, he'll start owning the archers. I mean, when you just look at the mini-map, the sheer amount of stuff that Checkmate has just standing around. He could do so much damage if he just attack. It's frustrating almost. He's attacking with these tiny armies and not doing well either. Walking his archers right into the pipeline. While like half of his army stands around. I understand you need to have some defense. But maybe not? Like, you don't need an orc here if you got an archer battalion here. Because you can see them coming from miles away. Oh, but the battle wagon is going to make short work of the orcs. There's going to need to be a lot more Easterlings on the field, which of course is going to weaken his armies against the Dwarves, because they're very Guardian heavy. Usually. You see there's multiple Guardians. They'll do very well against Easterlings. So it could be tricky. Looks like we have a Camus out in the field, one of the Fell Beasts, out for Checkmate. That could be interesting. Brand could also counter that pretty nicely, because King Brand, of course, has Beastslayer Arrow later on, but that does take him to get quite leveled up before he gets it, so it's not something that he has to worry about right away. But still, he does pretty good damage. He gets slam shot as well, but Beastslayer will pretty much almost one-shot the Fell Beast. Not quite, but I think. Have to shoot it a few times maybe, and then use it. That would take care of it. Could counter the battle wagon though. The old Fell Beast. MayShadow hasn't been sending a lot of archers at him at the moment. He doesn't even have an archery range, as you look at his base. So I think a Fell Beast is definitely a good choice. It's just Brand that he has to worry about. Looks like we have a Demolisher out. So that could be pretty nice for Dwarves. I love demolishers. They're pretty good. Of course, they can be equipped with heavy armor for 300, and they can also be deployed for 100% armor bonus. They did get a debuff. It used to be like 300% armor in version 6 or something like that. It was 250 maybe, but 100% is definitely much more reasonable. A lot easier to kill them than it used to be. They're still very, very good, of course. They haven't been nerfed into the ground. See, Brand is killing it, slowly killing it. If Checkmate's not paying attention, he will, of course, kill it, but hopefully he is. There he goes. Brand, once he levels up, is quite good at killing beasts. Also, fun fact, Beast Slayer arrow can actually one-shot catapults as well. Don't ask me why, but it does. I guess it just does enough damage or something by default. It's pretty good though. So you can actually use it to nullify siege weapons, which is a thing. Checkmate has some orcs just standing around over here. I think some strategically placed towers would have been a lot better for Checkmates. Say putting a tower here, just so he can see the enemy coming, while he sends his actual troops off to fight. I think he has too many guys on defense in random areas in the map. Also, something he will have to worry about eventually, potentially, is the undermine potential for dwarves to come in the back of his base, undermine, and just take his fort. That's always something you have to worry about, especially if he has siege hammers, which MayShadow doesn't seem to have yet. Doesn't seem he's interested in getting it either, so it's fair enough. But it is something that potentially you do have to worry about in a game. Undermine here. Bunch of guardians come out with siege hammers, maybe some zealots or glowing or something. Take your fortress pretty quickly. It's pretty scary, so it's something to definitely keep in mind. So look at powers and stuff while we're waiting here. We have 17 power points for Checkmate, who's got himself Barrage, Industry, Barricade, War Chant, Tainted Land, 700 command points. Alright. And MayShadowFax has got himself 1 power point after getting Dwarven Riches, Barrage, 7 Men of Dale, Hobbits, Rebuild, Heal, and Rally Call, 360, 925, so 700, 925. MayShadow's definitely doing better. And as you can see, he does have a lot of farms on the field, and they glow nicely because of Dwarven Riches' passive particle effect, which is pretty neat. It's always been one of my favorite particle effects. It just looks cool, in my opinion. Pretty neat indeed. Felby's taking out a thing there. Brandon's up to level 4 now, 3 more levels, and he'll be able to take this beastie out, but until then he's going to have to level up and continue to fight him off with just regular attacks. The Roger Marchers do have fire arrows. I don't know when he got those, probably a while ago, but I'm just not noticing. Brand has been cut down by orcs and Haradrims. Oh no. That's an unfortunate loss for MayShadow for sure. Checkmate has a lot of force. He could just push. I mean, he should push. But he's not. Just group these. Attack move them this way. Take some dudes here. Oh, let's zoom in. Attack move this way. I think he's just leaving too many of his men idle. Hell, press Q and just attack move. Work as well. He's using the Balrog summon on Summon Men of Dale. Interesting. I mean, it does take care of him. But of course, he won't gain anything before killing them. He has walked over a majority of the force of the dwarves. And that, of course, has dealt with the majority of those. MayShadow does not have anything to counter a Balrog in any way, shape, or form. So he has potential to lose majority of his base here. And Checkmate should really capitalize on this. Once again, not really doing so. This is why people you should attack move your army if you're Not very... I'm not going to say Checkmate's bad at micromanaging, but I feel like he's left a lot of troops just idle around the map at a lot of times. If you just press Q and attack move, your army would find itself in the enemy base in no time. Maybe he doesn't want to do that. That's fair enough. I think he should. I guess he didn't need to. There you go. Balrog spelt the demise for MayShadow. Unfortunate. Well, there you go. That was an interesting match. It was a... I felt Checkmate was really passive. Even though he was harassing a lot, I felt like MayShadow was winning. Until Balrog showed up, at least. Checkmate had so much superior forces, so much stuff, but he just didn't really do as much damage as he could have, I guess. But in the end, I guess he didn't need to, so there you go. Fair enough. Well played. Cool. Well, there you go. That has been a cast of the RotWK Version 7. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.